I'd like to talk to you now about departmental structure, which was another thing that No talked about in Chapter 2. One of the things he really talked about was how the training and development function can be organized, and it varies from organization to organization. Sometimes it's centralized, sometimes it's decentralized, sometimes you have a faculty model, a customer model, a matrix model, corporate university model, business embedded model. He also talked about the fact that today the trend is for organizations to employ a corporate university model with a business embedded model. And this builds upon the strength of the two models, providing for centralization and standardization of services, along with a high-touch, business-centered, trainers-on-the-ground component as well. In my over 20 years as an HRD professional, I've worked in almost all of these structures except the faculty model, and have had no one reporting to me and upwards of 30 plus people reporting to me. I found the most dynamic instruction was really the structure that No talks about as being the trend today, and that's the corporate university with the business embedded model. This is a model that was used at MGM Grand. Our corporate university had a dean. It also had a manager of leadership development and a manager of customer service, and also a manager of orientation and new employee training. Our corporate university had 10 to 15 training managers who also worked for our different divisions and connected our organizational programs with the different divisions, and also these training managers managed their discipline-specific training. The biggest challenge of this model was exactly what No pointed out, and the problem was with the split accountability of the business embedded managers. They frequently complained to me and to their bosses and to other people, anybody who would listen, about the difficulty they had of serving two masters, the dean of the MGM Grand University and their vice president. What would have helped, really, I think, in this situation would have been more resources for the training managers to support them with their division-specific training, which in some cases was quite extensive, and there was only one of them to do everything. One of the things that No did not talk about, though, were the reporting relationship of the training function. Who should the training function report to? And perhaps this is based on the assumption that training always reports to the HR head, and that is often the case. But sometimes you're lucky to work in an organization where training reports to the COO or even to the president as a parallel function to human resources. And when this happens, when training is separated from human resources, there are a number of benefits that ensue. And one is that there is higher visibility for the function. Training has a seat at the decision-making table for the organization. And it can be more well-funded because it's not competing any longer with some of the high-dollar components of the HR function, which include benefits and pay, which are the biggest expenses for most organizations, well, for all organizations. In one organization that I work for, I had the opportunity to report to the COO, and that was the organization I talked about in the little video I did on strategic and non-strategically based training. That was the strategically based training organization. So it is my preferred model, and I have a bias towards that. So what are your thoughts about the best structure of training and development? What's the best model that you've seen? Or when you read about them, what's the one that you like the most? And what about the reporting structure? Which one seems to make the most sense to you? I'd love to hear your comments.